Hi all and welcome to session 2 of business management. So at this point in the course, you should have had a look at all your IELTS tasks. So that has been uploaded onto ARC for you. Please download assignment 1. I've included that in folder for you under formative 1, also on ARC. Included in that folder is assignment 1, also a recording that I have made available to assist you with. Um, and I would advise that you listen to the recording before attempting the assignment, right? It gives you a lot of insights into it, and it will help you as you prepare for assignment 1. Please can you allow enough time to prepare for the assessment? So you're going to have to apply your knowledge. You're going to have time to reference correctly, load it in time before the submission date. So please allow yourself enough time for that. Okay, after our first learning unit, which we covered 2 weeks ago, and I have uploaded that recording for you, so I hope you have an opportunity to download it. You are ready to answer question 1 of your assignment. So a recap of the factors of production, informal and formal businesses, and types of economies. So this is a good test for you. If you go back to your assignment, look at question 1. If you are able to answer those questions, then you know that you have understood the content from the first session that we've had. Okay, so just a reminder before we continue with learning unit 2, all recordings are uploaded onto a YouTube channel and the link is made available to you on ARC. In addition, I have made available resources to assist you. So if you go into a folder titled Course Overview or Overview of Learning Units, I've created quick summaries that will help you understand just the basics of the course. If you use that in conjunction with our sessions and your textbook, you'll be in a good position come the summative assessment. Okay, so Learning Unit 2 deals with the entrepreneur and the entrepreneurial process. So we know that an entrepreneur is somebody who has a vision, the necessary skills, and urge to start a business. These are people that are tired of answering to people. They're tired of working the norm 9 to 5 hours, and they want to constantly grow and start their own business. They're constantly looking for gaps around them in the communities that they reside in, and they're trying to improve themselves. Entrepreneur Entrepreneurship is the process that entrepreneurs go through into building something of value. And it's that process that they're going to create in a business where they have a good or service and they are now able to exchange it for profit. So we say that entrepreneurs are born, which means they have some innate skill within them. And there are a few traits that we have identified that are common amongst entrepreneurs. And these are not the only traits, like there are numerous other traits. So an entrepreneur is an innovator, a risk taker, somebody who is an organized, um, somebody who can make decisions on the spot, lead through difficult situations, because remember that entrepreneurship is not a guaranteed success. So there are opportunities for growth, but there are equal opportunities where entrepreneurs are unsuccessful. And it's the ability to still lead themselves up, to their people up, and head towards success. So a leader is somebody that is able to communicate, and an entrepreneur, it's a vital skill for them to be able to continuously motivate their people to continue working. In terms of a role that an entrepreneur plays, they are somebody who is creative, somebody who is able to lead their people, somebody who has a vision and is able to achieve the vision, somebody who can basically see something out of nothing. Okay? And so entrepreneurship is such a tricky process and it's so unique to individuals and circumstances. But they have identified a process in which all entrepreneurs go through. The way that they go through the process in terms of time, duration, and how long they go through each stage does vary. In general, most entrepreneurs start off with an idea something that they see, a gap in the market, a gap that they need to fill, somewhere where they can be profitable. And once they have identified this gap, they then start to look at possible opportunities and ways in which they can meet and fulfill this gap. Once they've done that, they then start to evaluate the different types of prospects that they have. They create a business plan, and the business plan then helps them to identify resources that they need, not only in terms of goods that they use in their organization, but also people and the skill sets that they need. They then formulate how business will run, a management plan that they need, the skill sets that they need. And once this is done, they start to put it into process. They start to grow. And as the business grows, they start to reap their rewards. Very important about the entrepreneurial process is that it doesn't stop at growth and harvest. Mere fact that they are entrepreneurs means that they're constantly looking on ways to improve and looking for new gaps in the market. Okay, I have loaded a nice video for you to watch regarding a business plan. I think it's a good way for you to understand all the aspects of a business plan. So essentially, a business plan is something that investors look for before investing into a business or an idea. It's a very common plan that evolves differently and looks differently, but it has basically the same contents in terms of sections required. So, business plan, in a nutshell, gives investors a snapshot of what you want to do, how you want to do it, and where you see your business going. So this is an opportunity for you to give insight to potential investors about your business, how you see it being profitable, and what are the rewards that you hope to achieve in the years to come. So it's very important that you use this opportunity to the best of your ability, but also remain realistic in terms of growth, uh, production trends, profit estimations, because investors do look for that. It's fine to show some sort of decline in the first year, second year, as long as you are showing that this idea will generate profit. So not only does the business plan help you gain investors, but it also provides insight for you to holistically look at your business idea and gain an understanding as to where it's going, where it's heading, what you need, the skill set that you need, how you're going to run it, how you're going to operate it, what are your plans for growth. So it's very important that you put in a lot of effort into business plan preparation. Also bearing in mind that investors get thousands of business plans. So you really have an opportunity in your executive summary to fully capture their attention so that when they go through your business plan, it makes sense and it stands out. Okay. Okay. So once you've been granted finance, you have an idea and you are ready to start your business, it then becomes important for you to now have a look at the different types of options that are available to you to start your business. So in South Africa, we have few common types of business structures and some more common than others. Some are easier to start than others. Some have fewer legal conditions applied to it. And so it is important to fully understand the different types of options that are available to you before you start to form your business. So the very first type that we have is a sole proprietor. And your sole proprietor is one individual who wants to start a business, doesn't want to be too big, doesn't want too many registration around it, wants to just start up something and see where it goes, how it's going to grow. Okay. So a sole proprietor allows a person or an individual to start a business. There is no separate legal entity, which means you yourself are responsible for the losses of the company. You yourself are responsible for the legal aspects of that company, which means that if you don't meet your payments, your personal assets will be attached. Okay. Um, the registration is very informal in nature, so not too many. And essentially, it is easy to start. So that is the most attractive part of the sole proprietor. Partnership, it's a little bit more tricky. Now you want to start adding more people join this. So it's not just you, there's a need for additional capital, there's a need for additional skill set. You have somebody else that you want to join, but you're not ready to start a company. So you're not ready to get involved in the legal aspects required for a bigger type of business. In this case, a partnership is more suited to you. So partnership allows between 2 to 20 people, still not a separate legal entity. So you still share losses and responsibilities in terms of legal aspects between partners. And there's not too much of legislation involved in registering a partnership. And responsibility is shared amongst the partners. Profits and losses, capital contributions are shared amongst partners. Now, a partnership doesn't always have to be 50-50, in which case a partnership can be, you can have two partners, one contributes 60% of capital, one contributes 40% of capital. Profit and losses are shared in that ratio. Okay, so it really does allow for you to bring people on board, even if they don't have equal portions to contribute to your business. Remember, partners can contribute money, but they also can contribute assets, skill sets, anything that's of value to your business. Closed cooperation seems very similar to a partnership. The only thing is that it was, I want to say, separate legal entity, which means you couldn't go to the partners' homes and touch their furniture, and they weren't responsible in their personal capacity for any legal aspects or losses of the company. However, partnerships were not always managed correctly, and for that reason, in South Africa, since 2011, since 2008, um, you cannot register a new close corporation, but any registered corporation before 2011 is still in existence and will still continue. So for the aspects of learning how to manage an existing close corporation, we do speak about it, and it's important that you understand what it entails. But when you are asked in your assessment, please recommend a suitable structure or business structure for a case study. Please do not recommend close corporation because nobody can register a new close corporation. So that is very important that you make note of that. Okay. More, I want to say bigger structure, more difficult to start company. And in South Africa, you can have a private company and a public company. Difference between these, both have separate legal entity, both have limited liability, is that one allows you um, to sell shares on the JSE. It allows people to buy shares into your company and is therefore open to the public, whereas the private company is limited to shareholders that you elect or that you allow into your company. Nobody can go onto the JSE and purchase a part of your company. So if a company is publicly registered, then all their financials must be available to the public, okay? Because people are purchasing from on the JSE. Your private companies cannot sell shares publicly, and it is one of the more common business structures that we have around. So the other two is sole cooperatives, where 5 or more members start cooperative with separate legal entity, limited liability, and they register this. So these are member-owned, and they support each other within that business structure. So each different type of structure via a community make decisions for that social cooperative. They control, decisions are made mutually, and they share economic benefit amongst each other. This is very common amongst farms and farming societies. It allows you within a cooperative to purchase from each other and support each other while all belonging to a cooperative. In terms of a trust is put into place because there's a need to protect beneficiaries. It has a separate legal entity, and the liability depends on how we set it up. Okay, so you do require a master by court, and it's usually formed when there's a need to protect assets, like I said. So if you have minor children, and you want to protect the interest in case you are no longer here, then a trust is set up to protect them, to manage those assets until such age they can reap the benefits and then obviously take ownership of the trust. A trust also is set up if somebody is not able, so they are dependent, they're not able to take care of themselves. The trust is set up in their interest where somebody manages the trust. The trustee will manage the assets and they would then distribute the rewards to the beneficiaries of the trust. Okay. So fees is not an option for a normal business setup. It's usually set up if we are protecting interests of people. Okay, so that is the gist of Learning Unit 2. I have noticed that this class is quite small this semester. So I want to remind you again that if you need to reach out to me, please do so. You have my contact details and you have my cell phone number. So pop me a WhatsApp, send me an email, whatever assistance you need. I am here to assist. But please do want you to make note of the important dates on your pass. So your assignment 1, your assignment 2, and your summative, which will become available soon. Make a note and don't forget to submit those formative assessments. Please don't submit something unless you are certain that you have done the correct thing. I am here to assist and please to check in with me where you can. I wish you all the best for this course. Good luck and take care.